Alright, so I'm pretty sure in the last video, the audio was really shit. So I apologize if that was the case. I had this thing here, but it wasn't connected, so quite annoying. And I did a really good video of that one, so I'm just going to keep it in and try to fix the audio up. But anyways, this next video is about internal to external thinking. Again, another word or concept that you probably have never heard before. I love doing this to you guys, teaching you new information that I've never talked about before. That's what this course was made for. So in investing, there's a concept which you would probably have never heard about internal to external thinking. And there's a couple guys on Twitter who talk about it, and I'm going to be referencing them for this sort of perspective. Now, throughout this course, you're going to see me reference quite a lot of online information because I think the best way to learn something is to learn it from me and have supporting evidence from a number of other smart people. So you can see it from a number of other perspectives. And I think people like seeing that something that is said is also a belief held by other people who are smart. And a lot of the time, you guys probably see tweets online and you probably overlook them. Like, you might have seen some of the tweets I'm going to show you, and now that I'm presenting them to you, you might see them through a new light. You might now realize, oh shit, I should have probably been paying more attention to the tweets that I see on Twitter. So let's talk about internal to external thinking. What is the mindset here that I'm trying to teach you guys? Well, in markets, we naturally have a desire to basically get what's called confirmation bias. Now, let's Google what the definition of confirmation bias is so I can give you an exact definition. It's the tendency for humans to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior beliefs or values. So, us as humans, we desire external confirmation in our decision making. And in investing, this is a bad idea because in investing, you make money by doing what no one is doing or what very minimal people are doing. So when no one's buying or very minimal people seem to be buying, that's when you buy. And the reason no one buys at the bottom is because they're being given the least amount of external confirmation, right? People need someone to tell them that something's a good decision for them to do it. That's why they go to Twitter and they find a guy talking. That's why they go to Twitter and they find a guy talking about a coin positively. And when they see a guy talking about a coin with conviction, they take that guy's conviction as external confirmation that they are making a good decision. They are basically outsourcing their conviction to someone else that they've never met on the internet. And that's what this is what most people, I'd say 90% of crypto investors do. They go on Twitter or YouTube, they find coins spoken about by other people. They go, okay, this guy's smart and he's talking about this coin, so it must be a good coin to buy. And then they basically have outsourced their conviction. They've outsourced their belief, their research to someone on the internet. Not a good idea. The only time that you can outsource your conviction is if you are working closely alongside someone else. If you can message that guy at any time and you can really work one-on-one with that person with their thesis, and that's fine. But if you're just trying to copy a random dude on Twitter, I don't think that's a good idea. Because random dudes on Twitter tell you when they buy, but they never tell you when they sell. So yeah, you might get a good entry. But just because you have a good entry doesn't mean you're going to be able to get an exit, right? If you copy someone to get their entry, you better be copying them to get their exit, because how are you going to know when to sell? You're just not going to know when to sell because you copied to get in and now you have to copy to get out, but you're not going to be able to because it's just a random dude on Twitter. Let me give you an example of what you guys would do. So you guys would hear about this coin called Tao, however you want to say it. You go, okay, let's see what people are saying about Tao or BitTenzer. And you come here to this guy, he's talking non-stop about it. And then you go down to, let's see, I think he's got a tweet here about it. Where is it? Here. I talked about this in the last video, I think. You will not be able to convince others buying Tao now is like buying Bitcoin at $280. They won't understand. You go on Twitter, you read these posts about these big coins that are going to go 50, 100x, right? Bitcoin at $280, so it's going to go, what, 100x to $28,000. Ridiculous. Yeah, and when you do this, you're relying on external confirmation. You're using a confirmation bias in order to decide what to do. So you're basically going external, what are other people saying, and then you're going internal and deciding what to do. And you're relying on the external validation to make an internal decision. But this is the wrong way. You don't go external to internal, you have to go internal to external. So let me explain. Until you can build an internal to external mode of thinking, you'll be stuck in a cycle of consensus validation. That's a really, really good way to put it. Until you can find your own coins and do your own research and make a decision to buy something, firstly inside of yourself, and then afterwards maybe going out to see what others think, you're going to basically just constantly be trying to outsource your conviction to other people, right? You're going to not know what coin to buy, so you're basically just going to go see what coins people talk about on Twitter. And that's never going to make you money. Okay? You have to get used to doing things solo, like he says here. And also, let me give you an example of what a good process and a bad process looks like. So obviously green is good and red is bad. So internal to external thinking is basically you research, you look into new sectors, you read research reports, you look into the coins that are new and on the market, whatever you're finding in certain sectors that you're looking in. You analyze these projects using a predetermined valuation framework that you use for finding good projects. You basically filter down to, let's say, your top 5-10 coins, and you confirm that you've built a succinct thesis on the coin before you even end up buying it. You need to have built a proper thesis, a proper, conviction in the thing before you've bought it. And then you can begin the accumulation process, and you only wait to accumulate when you have asymmetric upside. And you enter with conviction, you make sure you do proper position sizing, and you hold until the thesis is validated or invalidated. So you either sell because it didn't play out like you thought, or you sell because it did play out and the thesis has been completed. That's what you should be doing. This is the correct way. But this is what most of you guys do. You go to Twitter and YouTube, you find your favorite guru, and they do like a video like this, right? This is the most commonly searched video on YouTube. Top coins for the bull run, right? This is what you guys do. Top coins for the bull run. How many of you guys have actually searched this? I'm going to guess it's a lot of you. If you have, you should be disappointed in yourself. So you go like this, top coins. See, look how many videos they do on it. This is like the most common video that people do. Oh, Alex Becker. Oh, he's like worth 10 figures. He must know the good coins. 100x with tiny crypto coins. Wow. Okay, let's watch this. And you go here, and then you watch the video, and you've determined your list of coins that you want to buy externally. You use someone else's research for your own. Wrong order. And then you pick your coin list based off of, what these people have conviction in. And the thing is, the Twitter influencer, whatever coin they have the highest conviction in, tends to be the one that makes the least money. Because if they have huge conviction, the price has probably already gone up. They're getting higher conviction because they're getting the confirmation from price being higher, right? That's why that guy, that Boing guy, what's his name? Boing? He's like bull posting about Tau now, like absolutely crazy. It's because he has made a bunch of money and he's gaining conviction, at least in his tweets, with the price being higher. But there's now less upside because the price has gone up. It has asymmetric downside now, right? And then the next thing you guys do is you start buying immediately. So you go on Twitter or YouTube, you see these coins, you start buying them today. There's no process, there's no strategy, you just fucking buy them. I'm buying right now. And then you buy these coins because they're all pumping and you got to get in, right? You got FOMO. And then number 4, you ignore the coins that these influencers aren't as confident in, or the ones that are hardest to buy, and these end up pumping the hardest. Because the thing that's hardest to buy and the thing that people are least confident on if it turns out to be good, is the thing that's going to perform the best. Because your best trades come from the positions you feel most alone in being bullish on, right? This is a correct way to do crypto, right? If you do crypto correctly, you should build a thesis on a particular coin or sector, share this thesis externally, and people should be like, oh, it could work. Yeah, I don't know about it. I'll look into it later. Oh, I'm not sure, bro. That's a shit thesis. It's not going to work. Now, obviously, if your thesis is really shit, that doesn't count. But if what you are saying is actually a good thesis and you actually know what you're talking about, then those are the best trades where you could make the most amount of money, right? You should ask everyone about your chosen coin thesis and receive the least amount of confirmation bias possible. That's when you know you're onto something that people haven't found yet. Now, let's say you come up with a thesis of something that people haven't found yet, and no one ever finds out or believes in your thesis. Then obviously you're never going to make money. But if you find or come up with a particular narrative or a thesis, and everyone eventually hopped onto the bandwagon, that's when you make lots of money. And I sort of said that already before. So the less your thesis feels good based off of what the masses sort of give back to you, the more potential future buyers that will come in if the thesis plays out, and the more money that you'll make. So that's the moral of the story here. Internal to external thinking. Don't go to Twitter as the first sort of resource, or YouTube. You need to do your own research, or you need to work closely alongside someone who can give you everything that you would need to make sure that even if you are making a decision based off of someone else's information, that you were doing it correctly. If you've copied someone on Twitter, but you were able to message them every day and you were close friends and they told you when they sold and bought exactly, you would be fine. That's okay. That's not a problem. The problem is these guys don't care about you and they only tell you when they buy and they never tell you when they sell. And then if the price goes down, they say, oh, well, you should do your own research. Don't just copy me, blah, blah, blah. But then they say shit like, where is it? And then they say shit like, buying Tau now is like Bitcoin at 280. If you don't buy, you're going to stay poor forever. Shit like that. So internal to external is how you want to do it. Bit of a shorter video, but it's an important lesson. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Cheers.